Hey, it's James, Father's Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. Look, the answer to all this stuff is in you. You are the answer. This is another angle on what the problem is with family court. The problem is you. Because the court system is corrupt and it's not changing anytime soon. So those of you who are wishing and hoping and praying for it to go away or to change, keep holding your breath for the next 100 years. Your life is on the line. Your life with your kids is on the line right now. All your aspirations to create awareness and for people to know what's going on and to cry and have somebody console you for the trauma you're going through. Your life is on the line with your kids right now. This is your chance to rescue them. If your attorney won't fight for you, go make your attorney do it or fire them. If the court is biased, go make arguments in court. I just got off the phone with a lady who every attorney she talks to, now she got really screwed, every attorney she talks to says, well, you just screwed up, or, her last attorney sold her out. You just screwed up. Well, just wait for the right circumstance. Well, you got, some of them might say, well, you got a case, but, go move closer to the dad and do all this extra stuff. Everybody that gives her an answer gives her a discouraging answer. And I had to shut her down because she kept saying this, that person, and I got to do this. Everybody in the court system is doing this, dancing around and tiptoeing through the tulips, walking on eggshells. I'm not going to disrupt or hurt anybody. The lady I was talking to, she said they had a witness at trial a couple years ago. Her attorney would not question the witness because the attorney didn't want to piss off the witness. They already brought the witness down to court, which was inconvenient. The attorney said, we don't want to piss them off or irritate them. What kind of dumbass attorney says, I don't want to question? Your entire job as an attorney is to question somebody. That's like a journalist or a detective not asking questions. That's how you get to the bottom. Scientists ask questions. If I do this, what's going to happen? Let me experiment. Why did that happen? I didn't expect that explosion to happen there. I thought maybe it would fizzle out or something. You ask questions. That's how you get to the truth. That's how you get to the truth in a debate or discussion or in court. The entire purpose of attorneys is to ask questions. And so a lot of these attorneys don't do their job. Right? And so everybody says, just don't piss off the judge. Don't piss off the guardian ad litem. Dance around this. Dance around that. So everybody ignores the elephant in the room. Nobody does their job. You're going to a court of law to argue the law in favor of your lawful rights, and then your attorney doesn't argue the law. They're like, oh, we don't want to do that. We want to appease the judge and try and win over the judge by this sideways strategy of having the judge like us. There's nothing in the law about the judge liking you. So everybody, here's the direct line. Let's say you're traveling from Los Angeles to New York, and here's the direct line. I'm in Los Angeles, I'm looking in the direction of New York, and I decided to go to I-5, or I decided to go Route 66 instead of hopping a plane or whatever, going Highway 15 and angling my way through the country. If this is the way to go, and I say, let's go this way, or let's go that way, it's more scenic, it's more fun. It takes way longer, but yeah, going directly, that's just old hat and stuff. That would be stupid. This is the way you go. This is in family court. This is what the law says. If the parent is abusive, I should have custody. If the guardian ad litem is ignoring the evidence of abuse, then let's call out the guardian ad litem. Oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to piss off the guardian ad litem. Everybody is doing all this stuff that they're not supposed to do. And so now we have this entire system where nobody does their job and everybody cheats, just like in the NBA, everybody travels. Or all the politicians, they do insider trading. Everybody does it and cheats, so we're just going to do it just because that's where everybody does it. So nobody does stuff the right way. Or truck drivers, they're supposed to only drive for 10 hours and then they have to rest. Well, they'll never get the job done competing with others, so they drive for 14 hours, snort cocaine, and then, or whatever. Not every truck driver, but they'll do stuff to cheat, so everybody cheats because that's what we're doing. We've created this entire competitive system where we just play this dance around politics game in family court, and nobody ever fights the right way. So then when I tell people, why don't you fight the right way? They're like, no, everybody tells me not to. Okay, then do what everybody else who lost in court and who's a loser and all the attorneys who fail you, do what they say. Just be a bitch and a coward and be a little sheep and do what everybody else says. Be a little zombie and a sheep walking to the edge of the cliff because everybody else is doing it. And it makes sense because you're a follower. You're a cowardly follower, and you never stood up for yourself because you never had any controversy in your life. And you were dumb enough to create kids with a crazy person, but now you don't want to be held accountable for that. And you want somebody to freely hand you your kids. After you create a kid, you picked a crazy person to create your kids. If you hire somebody on the job, do the job, and they suck at the job or they're creating a toxic atmosphere, it's time to fire them. Oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to jeopardize their family. Oh, he has a wife. That's his problem. So the answer is you. You stand up for yourself. You can't find an attorney who will help work for you? Then you go fight. Oh, but it's too hard. Then grow some balls, pussy-ass bitch. Why do you have to be motivated to fight for your kids and scratch and claw and find any way to fight for your kids? If nobody else will do it, if nobody else will fight for my kids and rescue my kids for me, then who's left? It's you. And the reason I can talk like this is because nobody wanted to help me. No attorney wanted to help me. Everybody was telling me I can't do it. I had family members tell me just surrender to the mother because I'm going to get screwed. One of my sisters dated 2 guys who got screwed in family court. That's all she knew. So everybody who just follows what everybody else says and does considers that's the norm. And 95% of cases settle out of court. 95% of guys are surrendering under duress because they've been beaten down because they didn't get on the offensive in their case because they were pussy-ass bitches or their attorneys were. And you never even took the time out to think, is there an alternative out there? Is there something different? It's kind of like somebody who does some medical treatment for a disease and stuff, and they never try an herbalist or somebody who deals with fasting or a Dr. Sebi or whatever, and they never look outside the medical industry, which is totally corrupt, and they just like, how come this isn't working? You need to follow your conscience. If you don't, that's your fault because you took a decision to keep hiring corrupted. I had a guy who went through 3 different attorneys, spent like $50,000, and then he's coming up on trial. I'm like, well, it's time to finally do it right yourself. I can't really risk it. I have to have an attorney this time. You just told me all the attorneys are corrupt. They all suck. They all wasted your money. And now you're telling me this time you really, really need an attorney so you don't screw it up? You can't screw it up any worse than them. My gender is so freaking stupid that they say after they've lost over and over with a bunch of sellouts, I need to hire one of these sellouts again because I can't do it. What it is that guy was a pussy-ass bitch and he was lazy and he wanted to pay somebody else to do it because he didn't want to take ownership and fight for his kids. Everybody out there that says, I wish I would have known you 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. You could have if you got off your ass and looked. I've been on the internet since 2011 or so. There's people who in Europe and Australia who found me at my oldest website. I think I started off with howigotcustody.org. I went org.com. Now I use my flow page with all my links in one to just get right to contacting me. You could have found me, but you didn't. So let's own up and realize, wow, James, look at this asshole. He's telling me that I screwed up and I didn't care. Well, let me prove him wrong. Let me go care. Let me go fight for full custody and get on the offensive and do a deposition on the mother and grill the crap out of her. And if I lose, I'm going to do a reconsideration. And I'm going to call her out on all the factors. And if the guardian ad litem lies and says that the father is abusive and he's gaslighting the mother, I'm going to write a report against the guardian ad litem. When I wrote reports against the guardian ad litem, the judge believed me every single time and disregarded what the guardian ad litem said. And one time, and I show you guys the transcript, they said the guardian ad litem report is not reliable. The father has pointed out all the deficiencies in it, so they threw it out. I got a guardian ad litem report thrown out of court, and your punk bitch ass won't even criticize the guardian ad litem, even though you have a right to do so. The answer is with you, so the problem is with you at the root. You want your kid. You want 50-50. You want fairness. You want to call the mother out for her misconduct, but your attorney says, no, don't do that. Why? Well, just trust me. Why? How does that work for you? But just trust me. Or you don't want to piss off the judge. Why would I piss off the judge when the judge used to be a lawyer and knows that this is a competition and knows that we're supposed to argue and you're supposed to zealously fight for me? Why would everybody be so thin-skinned and offended if they're professional lawyers about this? The root problem is you. Make everybody do their job, get on the offensive and hold people accountable, and grow some balls and fight for your kids. If you don't know how to do that, get a consult with somebody who won. I'm one of them right here. Or find somebody else who has one. And